I walking home preaching to my cousins and stuff. And then when I was young, I'd be in the backyard. I had a dog and stuff in the backyard. I have kids and stuff like that, and I'd be preaching. I just did that as a kid. Don't know why I did that. It just, well, y'all just did that, and but then when you get older, and you be in these churches or whatever, I used to do that. But one thing I can say is that as being young, I really didn't believe that. I really didn't believe it because every time I go through a trial, I mean, I always believed the Mashiach was, that he was our savior. But when them trials hit, well, everybody say they hit different, didn't it? It would become hard to pray. It would become hard to say something to y'all because always going through something. Well, man, one thing I could say about Yah is he'll grow you up. He'll teach you how to have a relationship with him. When I was a boy, I didn't have a lot of men to really teach me how to be one. So I came up a little different. And so I couldn't trust Yah. I didn't trust Yah because, my dad would tell me when I was a boy, he finna come see me, come get me, and I'd be outside about an hour and a half, 2-3 hours until when the sun go down, and he'll never show up. And sometimes I might see him a year later, 2-3 years later. And then, and I used to tell my wife, that every man in my life that I ever met, that I seem to be credible, I always see them somehow to turn their back on me. So it became hard to trust Yah, because I used to put the ways of a man on Yah, thinking that he'll let me down, thinking that he wouldn't keep his word. But let me tell you something, Most High, he ain't like that. Now, he true to what he say. And I was telling Isaiah the other day, we was going to Fayette, Alabama, and I was telling Isaiah, I said, the Most High has always been there for me all my life. When I sit back, I can realize it now. He's always been there for me. It just took me to be, 49 years to realize that, I reckon. Yeah, well, 40 something. Years to realize that. But Yah has always been there for me. He's always been there for all of us. And the thing is that when you sit back and look over your life, it's him that grows us up and help develop our character. And we ain't got to worry about because a man let us down, that Yah let us down. The thing that happened to me was I would believe what they say, and when it came down to me really disappointed, I used that as an excuse for Yah. It was until I got in Yah's word and read it for myself, not with the mind of my pastor, not with the mind of religion, not with the mind of tradition, but when I read it for myself and I asked Yah to show me him, show me his ways, show me the truth. And I started seeing the Bible. When you look at the Bible, I've never seen where Yah has ever lied to nobody. I ain't never seen where he ever lied to Abraham. I ain't never seen where he ever lied to the children of Israel. I seen him always bring them through, even in their own disobedience. I seen the mercies of Yah. When you read the book of Judges, how Israel would turn against Yah, and they'll follow straight, and they especially when the strayers started living in sin, when Joshua died and the elders died, and how Yah would give them over to their enemies. But then they'll come back to him and cry, and he'll always deliver them. Even one time he told me, look here, he said, go to the God that you sir left me for. Then he felt bad about it and raised up Gideon. Or he raised up Samson. Or he raised up Ehud. And I can see in the Torah, when I saw in the Torah, even when Moses was telling him to do the remedy, that everything you ever went through, Yah has brought you out of, and I reflect back over my own life. And I can truly honestly say there's never been a trial that I've gone through that when I've turned to Yah, that he has never delivered me from it. On time that I had to stay in my stuff is when I wasn't seeking Yah. And I complained all the time. Then I went through it longer. But when my mind learned how to get past what I was dealing with and put my focus on Yah, he has brought me out of every trial I ever encountered. Now, I ain't been here for no long time. I'll be 50 years old next year on my birthday, but these little small amount of years that I have been living. And I've been saved for 26 years and been in the truth since 2009. Is that Yah has delivered me out of it. We can trust in him. You ain't got to go through no trials until when you start going through, you get weary. Even if you got to move out your house and you don't see nowhere to go and you got to pack your stuff, pack it up and be happy about it. Don't worry about it. Do what you got to do. Even if you need a vehicle, even if your body ain't feeling well, whatever you're going through, even in your marriage, if y'all can't seem to get along, you don't know how to communicate. Don't never lose your hope and your focus in Yah. Always seek him. Be prayerful and learn how to bear the fruit of patience. Let me tell you, let me read something that we're going to go to 2 Samuel. We're going to pray again. But man, you know, and I've learned this just through life. So when we be talking and teaching, we don't do this now out of unbelief. We don't do this now out of tradition. We do this because we believe it. I know who I serve. And Yah is real. Yah is real. He's realer than you looking at me right now. When you're going through trials and you're being cut back and you're being pruned, it's because Yah trying to get the spirit of love out you, and joy out you, and peace out you, and long suffering out you, and gentleness out you, and goodness and faith. He's trying to get it out. He's trying to get it to grow in you. And meekness and temperance. He's trying to get those things to grow in you. What Mashiach was saying in John the 15th chapter, he meant what he was saying when he was saying that he the true vine and Yah is the husbandman. He the gardener. He's the one that tends to the garden. He the worker. He the farmer. He's the one that's growing you. He's the one that planted the seed and growing it out and cultivating it and getting it to grow. And he says in the word, he said, every branch in me that beareth not fruit, he taketh away. The fruit that we just got finished reading about. When you don't bear those fruit, Yah takes away. And the only way that Yah can get that fruit out of you is he has to purge it. Every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it. What's that word purgeth mean? He cleanses it. He prunes it. He cuts it. Man, don't ever feel good being cut. But that's all you're going to be able to grow. Every branch that beareth fruit, he purgeth it, that it may do what? Bring forth more fruit. Then Mashiach says, now you are clean through the word which I have spoken to you. It took me years to ever be able to understand this, or this scripture, or this chapter. Years. Didn't know what that meant. But when you're being cut back and you got to bear fruit, guess what he say? You got to abide in him, or you have to remain in him. You got to stay in a given place. You got to stay there, continue, endure. You got to stand. That means when you're getting cut, you're going through life, can't take off running trying to get somewhere. You got to be able to take the cutting without falling off. You got to. That don't sense you freaking out of your mind, sitting here finna die of a heart attack or a stroke. I was in the shower yesterday, and me and y'all was talking, I was thinking, and this is what came to my mind. It makes no sense for you being gray-headed before time. If you gray-headed, and it's not hereditary. Now, I understand that when you get older, you're gonna get a little grays in your head, a little grays. I got about 4 or 5 gray strands in my beard. And I got 2 or 3 gray strands in the top of it. I got a brother younger than me, got gray strands all over his head. He bald headed, bearded like Santa Claus. He a couple of years younger than me as far as white I'm talking about. Salt and pepper. Something like that. He got salt. Pepper almost gone. And he younger than me. If you gray-headed because you're stressing out, that's wrong. You should only be gray-headed because time. Because of your age, not because you're stressing, not because you are worrying. Unless it's just hereditary. If it's hereditary, then you get gray young. Some folks do. But you gray because you just stressing out, your beard look like it's white as snow, top of your head look like gray, or you done went bald and it's non-hereditary. Stop it. Quit worrying. My hair was falling out. Y'all see with locks now. Praise y'all for the miracle. Mine was coming out because of stress. There wasn't no grease I can get to make it grow back. Neither I had to quit worrying and learn to pray. I didn't have to go get no keeps or the hair club for me. Mine came strictly back by prayer. My wife said it looked like cats flicking in my head at one point in time. When I used to get braids, a girl used to go and put weave. I can't put weave in my hair, and I can put it down right here. So I'm telling you something that I know that I'm talking about. It's the truth. It says, you remain in me, and I in you, as the branch cannot bear fruit of itself. You can't produce these fruits by your own initiative, by yourself, except you will remain, stand, endure in the vine. No more can us, except we abide in Mashiach. He said, I am the vine. You are the branches. He that abides in me and I in him, the same bring forth much fruit. For without me, you can do nothing. You can't do it by yourself. But look here, if you don't remain in them, you're getting somewhere, skipping and backslide, going living in sin. Because you don't like what you're dealing with. You ain't got enough patience to be able to maintain. You want to quit. You want to stop. You want to get away because you don't like what's going on in your life. If a man abide not in me, then it's lake of fire. If a man abide not in me, he is cast forth as a branch and is withered. And men gather them and cast them into the fire. And they are burned. If you abide in me and my words abide in you, what he say, what he teach remains in you. You can ask what you will, and it shall be done. I believe that. You got to be able to remain in him, and you got to be prayerful. You can ask what you will, and y'all going to do it for you. Then say you ain't got to wait upon it. And then when we don't get to choose the time limit of how long we think we should wait before we come out of it. That ain't how it works with us, with him. It's until he has seen us ready to go forth. It's just like when you put a piece of some cornbread or something in the oven. You determine when it's ready, don't you? The bread don't determine when it's ready. Because the bread trying to fool you and it's brown on top, don't mean it's done in the middle. And sometimes you got to turn it down a little bit so it can cook in the middle. Sometimes food can cook too fast. You're like a woman, making a cake and it's doughy in the middle. Cake look good, but the whole middle still got the batter. You don't want that. There ain't no cream they put in there. That's an undone cake. Or the chicken and cook real good and it's all golden brown on the outside, or you got it on the grill and it isn't good, but the inside still red with a little blood in the midst of it. You're cooking too fast. You gotta learn how to move it from that fire and let it cool off over here and let it smoke a little bit. Get on here and get it done in the middle. I'm a grill master. But it's up to the one who's preparing it to determine when it's ready. Not for the one who being prepared. And without trusting the Father, we got to be able to trust in him to know that he has our best interest at heart. Yah knows how we feel about things, our family. He knows how we feel in our concerns. Don't want nothing happening to nobody. Don't want nothing happening to us. Don't want to lose this. But that's what you got to trust in him and know that he's concerned about you. And he ain't going to let nothing hit your heart that's too grievous for you that you can't bear or handle. He won't do you like that. He's not wicked. You can cast your cares on Yah. And you can talk to him about it for real without complaining. And he'll give you understanding. He was very patient when it came down to Baruch. Mashiach was very patient when it came down to his tabernacle. Even Judas, who did wrong, he was patient with him to the end. Judas could repent it. He chose not to, so he met his end. But you got to be able to remain in going through it. Got to. You got to be able to learn how to have this real relationship with the Father to know that he cares about you, and you can't be consumed by the things we've experienced in life in the Western world because of our disobedience, because of our sins of our forefathers, because of our own sins, and because of us being let down in time past, or because of us being failed by religion. None of these things cannot matter to you when it comes to you into this covenant, having a relationship with Yah. You got to abide in him, and his words got to abide in you. You got to remain prayerful, and you can ask what you will, and it shall be done. And herein is Yah glorified. What? That you bear much fruit. And when you bear fruit, so shall you be his Talmudim. So you remain impatient, and you remain in malice and strife, and you doing things that you know you should not do, and you continue to sin, you ain't bearing no fruit. You in sin. And you cannot inherit this kingdom. You can't go into that promised land. You can't live with him forever because he don't sin. He don't live like that. You got to learn how to grow up. Even Paul said when I was a child, I thought like a child, I spoke like a child, I understood as a child, but then he said what he do? He became a grown man. And when he became a man, he put away his childish things. Let me tell you something. Then we're going to go to 2 Samuel. I found something out, man, that's amazing. Is when Mashiach was talking, he wasn't just talking just to be talking. He had to live what he said too. Like Abraham, when Yahuah made that covenant with him and come from his father's house, he was going through something. He was in a low place. Nimrod then was seeking his life. He asked Yah, what should he do? Yah said, come from your dad's house and go to what I'm going to show you. Yah did that and covered and helped him get out of there. In a low moment, it made a promise with him. With understanding that Sarah was barren. He understood Sarah was barren. Before Yah called him, it took him 25 years to get Isaac. And Mashiach is saying something that's heavy. Because he had to bear the same fruit. Talking about we had to bear. Listen to this. As the Father have loved me, so have I loved you. Continue in my love. Love is demonstrated in the action. Things he's done. Things he's going to do. And we got to continue in his love by the things that we got to do. Our act is obedience. If you love me, you will keep my commandments. You should abide in my love, remain in my love, even as I have loved, even as I have kept my Father's commandments and abide in his love. Now they grabbed it. We didn't read in the Bible. I didn't grab one trying to throw him down headlong. Want to whoop him, dog him out, put him down. That's Joseph Dion boy. Couldn't believe in nothing he said. He even said when he came back in the synagogue, when he first came from the wilderness, that when he read Isaiah and told them the scripture is fulfilled in their face, they looked at him as he said them gracious words. And this is Joseph's boy. And he turned to him and told him, look here, you're going to sit this and hear yourself. Do what you did in Capernaum. He said, look here, a prophet is without honor in his own country. He said when there was a famine in the land of Yahuah, he wasn't nobody in Israel. He was into a widow in Zarephath. Gentiles had more faith. Just like in Elisha day, when everybody in Israel had 0 out of leprosy, only one that was here was named the Gentile. No, they got ready to do it to him. He'd have been through some stuff, but he still had to speak and do what y'all say. So he ain't just telling you nothing, trying to sound good and deep as a good preacher should. No. It ain't how it works in life. It's a life we live that shows who we are in the eyes of Yah. It ain't what you say out your mouth. It's the actions you take to prove who you are. Your faith with your works is what you got to give. These things have I spoken to you, that my joy might remain in you, and that your joy might be full. Listen here, this is my commandment, that you love one another. As I have loved you, we still break the command. We still go against one another, don't talk to each other. Turn our backs on each other, and won't help each other to save our own life. Because you got to have yours, and you care about nobody else. You and your two, and that's all the only ones for you and your folk, and no more. Afraid to give your last, don't want to give your last. That's a shame. Shame on you. It's a shame when you won't give your last. I ain't got number $5 I can't get to you. Well, they said that woman over there, the Most High this week, I just about Mashiach said that he said Eliyahu to that widow Zarephath, she had a little bit left, finna eat and die. But y'all had told Eliyahu, I got a widow over Zarephath, I'd come in and take care of her. So he didn't get over there. She over there gathered sticks to make her a little cake, her little boy. But he said, look here, go ahead and, make me some first. Thus says Yah, she believed in the word and fed the man of Yah and provided. Yah provided for him the whole time of the famine. She had more faith than many of us got. Because you won't give up nothing to save your life. You make it about yourself. This is my commandment, that you love one another as I have loved you. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. You are my friends. You hear what he told him, did you? Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. That's what he said to him. Greater love have no man than this, that a man lay down his life for his friends. Then he tell him, you my friends. He tell him he can let his laugh down. You my friends if you do whatsoever I command you. Henceforth I call you not servants. For the servant don't know what his master do or the Lord do. But I called you friends. For all things have I heard that I have heard of my Father. I have made known to you. I don't have no secrets. Don't hold none back. They conceal nothing. Everything my dad told me, I have made known to you. And not because you chose me neither. I'm the one that chose you. Remember now, he chose them. Remember when he went to Peter and Andrew over there fishing? Asked Peter to scoot the boat back a little bit. And then his two partners, Zebedee and John, and three partners, Zebedee and John and Yahuah, or James, Yahuah, they fishing. And then when he got finished talking, he told Peter, go ahead and throw your net on the other side for the drought. Peter came down, freaked out. So he was astonished. Mashiach said, follow me. Then they go see the public levy, the tax collector. Went to his house, they had made a feast for him. Chose him. I came to call sinners to repentance. He chose them from the top. Just like he chose every last one of us, sitting off in our midst, doing our own thing, running amok in our own life. Yet still, he calls out of their darkness to this marvelous light. And here we is giving aside ourselves, thinking we chose him. Foolish of you to have that kind of mindset from the, first of all. You ain't chose him, he chose you. And then he had made known to you everything that Yah made known to him. And I think it's an honor and a privilege for Yah to reveal anything to you. But your mind sitting here blind and he tell you who you are. Man, it's outstanding. As the Gap Band would say, outstanding. Girl, you knock me. Yah, you knock me out. You have not chosen me, but I have chosen you. And then what? Ordain you that you should go. He chose you. Why? To ordain you that you should go and bring forth fruit. He chose you to deal with this, make you tough and bet some things up in you. And your fruit should remain, that whatever you ask of the Father in my name, in my honor, he may give it to you, and these things he commanded you love one another. That's amazing, man, because see, a lot of times what we do, y'all, is complain and grumble and cry and want to quit, not realizing that it's an honor and a privilege to go to the things you're going through, because it's the opportunity for y'all to show yourself strong in your life. I used to be scared to tell y'all yes. I ain't want nothing bad to happen to nobody. Scared to let go. Thought I can control it on my own if I just hold on. That's not how it works. You can't control nothing. You can't control nothing. I remember, man, when I left, man, look here. Devin got killed. My brothers told me to come home, and I thought if I go back to the house, everybody gonna be all right. When I changed my life and came into this thing, nobody came with me. I thought it was coming. No, nobody came and came to the truth with me. Nobody's found Yah with me. No, because if you can control people and change people, the whole world will be a good place right now. Because you'll do whatever I tell you to do, but you can't control people. You can only control yourself. And trust in Yah. And let him be able to take care of the situations for your life. And when you're going through it and you see like you're behind on your bills and you can't make it, he knows what you're dealing with. You're the one that's freaking out. He knows what you're dealing with. That's why I had Isaiah to read Enoch 9 today. It ain't none concealed. It ain't none hidden from Yah. He saw what Azazel them did. He wasn't quick to respond. He's merciful. But then he dealt with him. So you be trusting Yah. Believe in him. If you don't know him, ask him to come into your life and to help you to have that real relationship with him, to have a real understanding of it, to show him for real, to give you wisdom, to give you a wise and a discerning heart, understanding heart. Tell the truth about yourself. I don't know you. I don't have no relationship with you. I don't know who you are. You know, I'm religious at best. Please show me how to know you. Help me to learn of you. Show me so I can read it. Help me to understand what I'm reading. Y'all do it. He did it for the Ethiopian eunuch that was in the chair reading Isaiah, trying to understand. And y'all made Philip come over there to him. He said, do you know what you're reading? Do you understand what you're reading? And then we had him and Philip got finished talking. He said, look, I got some water right there. He was hindering me from being baptized. Y'all give you understanding of who he is. I'm telling you, he's real. There's a dude on Facebook used to be in the cross movement, the lost movement. He used to call himself Brady Fanatic Goodwin. Then he's called himself the Fanatic. He's an atheist now. He never did believe in Yah. I rebuked him and told him to because your fair religion and your own failures is a promise you leave Yah. He go talk about some, well, can you get him to speak for himself? I said, well, you want here trying to bash him? He can speaking to people about him. He might want to use people to speak to you about him. If you want to learn how to know him, go try to find him on your own. Because y'all hide his face from the unbeliever. He ain't got to try to prove himself to you because you a fool anyway to say in your heart, there's no Yah. Describe your lungs, explain your lungs. Tell me how your heart works for real. Where was you when he formed the foundation of the world and put the four corners of the earth in his place, make the wind blow? And you want him to speak up? You were doodling on yourself till you got about 2 or 3. Pissing in the bed till you was about 12. being your meat at 14. Come on now. You fool you. To talk there in your vile self. Eating boogers, hiding as a teenager. Come on now. But you want to try to talk about somebody intelligent, way smarter than you. This ain't too hard, is it? The Most High is real. He's real. People don't really read the word. They don't really take the time to read it. To ask y'all to come into my life, to show me how to really be who you call me to be, to give me an understanding about what's going on. Because see, that's what happened to Joseph. He was a young man when he was ripped from his daddy. But when his brothers came down there and he revealed himself to them and they got scared, so he said, don't worry about it. He said, I was sent here for your posterity. He didn't hold a bitterness in his heart. He didn't hold no grudge. He had to understand by the time the brothers came that he was sent there to save their life. He was sent there to help Pharaoh them get things in order for the famine, so he can feed Jacob them. Yah sent Joseph to Egypt to provide for Jacob and his sons. Took 20-something years for them to get there. And y'all had already had things in order and prepared 20-something years in the past. In the future, headed. But see, going through something at the moment don't never feel good while you're going through it. But you know, you got to be able to get past that. You know. I used to be 21 a long time ago, so I can tell my young folks, my little young mustaches, if they would listen to me, that you can get past this. Remain in school, son. Don't get impatient. Be patient, son. Be patient, daughter, trying to marry every man, every woman. Just be patient and wait upon Yah. I can teach them something now because I've gone through it and made it past it. But our problem is a lot of times we don't like to take heed to wisdom, and we call the older folks fools. I think the more you read the word, the less prideful you should be, the more humble you should become. But it seems like, doggone, the more we read the word, the more thing we know, and the more we become prideful. Not as puffed up, I guess, according to what Paul said. Trust in Yah. He'll spank your butt. He will. I ain't gonna lie to you. He'll chasten you, but that's because he loves you. He'll correct you. He will allow you to go through it and look at you and tell you to stand up, boy. While you over there, I can't do it. He gonna say, stand up. He ain't gonna hit you. He ain't gonna put his hand out neither. He gonna show you that you can stand on your own 2 feet. Just stand up. Quit making excuses that ain't got no wall to lean on. And just get on up. He'll show you how to be a true leader if you allow him to really come into your life. I'm telling y'all something that I'm learning and going through at the same time. So we all in the same boat. Praise Yah. Almighty, we thank you for your mercy, your compassion, your goodness, and your love and kindness today. I ask you, Almighty, to give us your word. Help us to have a true understanding of the scriptures. Yah, they're all looking at me, but I'm depending upon you. I'm gonna look at it. We're all depending upon you. So help me to be able to teach your people, because these are your people. Your word, and you know these people. I don't know them like you know them. So I pray for the spirit of wisdom and the wise and discerning heart to be able to explain your word so that your people can be delivered and set free, have conviction and grow. We all depend upon you. You said we be taught Elohim. Teach us your word. Show us the truth. Give us understanding, Almighty. Help us to grow in faith. We thank you and give you the praise in Yahushua Mashiach's name. Hallelujah. Praise Yah.
Hallelujah.
2 Samuel 15, y'all. Absalom. Ooh. So we seen last week, man, David, boy, I told you what. Let's just read it, then we'll talk about it. This is crazy right here. And it came to pass after this, that Absalom prepared him chariots and horses and 50 men to run before him. Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man that had a controversy came to the king for judgment. Then Absalom called unto him and said, of what city art thou? And he said, thy servant is of one of the tribes of Israel. Absalom said unto him, see, thy mouths are good and right, but there is no man deputed of the king to hear thee. A deputy of the king to hear thee. Absalom said, moreover, oh, that I were made judge in the land. Absalom said, moreover, oh, that I were made judge in the land, that every man which have any suit or cause might come unto me, and I will do him justice. And it was so that when any man came not to him to do him obedience or obeisance, he put forth his hand and took him and kissed him. And on this matter did Absalom do all Israel that came to the king for judgment. So Absalom stole the hearts of the men of Israel. And it came to pass after 40 years that Absalom said unto the king, 40 years. Absalom said unto the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow, which I have vowed unto the Lord in Hebron, unto Yahuah Hebron. For thy servant vowed a vow, while I abode in Geshur in Syria, saying, if Yahuah shall bring me again indeed to Jerusalem, then I will serve Yah. And the king said unto him, go in peace. So he arose and went to Hebron, boy. Did he just bear a false witness? But Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel, saying, as soon as you hear the sound of the trumpet, then you shall say, Absalom reigneth in Hebron. And with Absalom, I'm not sharing the screen right again. I'm sorry, I thought my screen was sharing. It shows the screen. Sorry, y'all. I thought the screen was just sharing.
The screen is sharing.
Oh, some folks that weren't sharing. Well, let's go back to it again. Can y'all see the screen now? Can you hear me now?
Yes, sir.
And Absalom, and with Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity, and they knew not anything. It ain't give been Superman, old young simp. And Absalom sent for Ahithophel, the Gileonite, David's counselor, from his city, even from Giloah, while he offered sacrifice, and the conspiracy was strong. For the people increased continually with Absalom. Now let me push pause on that first. That's crazy. Because, but listen, this is a word that came to pass in David's life. Now, this is something that y'all said was going to happen. Why? Because what David did in secretly, y'all saw him do it to you in openly. And I said that to say this, that a lot of times that's why it's very important that we watch how we live. And the things we do to one another behind each other's back, sinning against. Yeah. You know, earlier this week, we was walking, riding, going to Fayette Monday. And me and Isaiah was talking, and y'all was speaking to me. Y'all was like, you know, how merciful he was, you know, because when David first saw Bathsheba, David, he slept with another man's wife. He committed adultery. But at that moment, y'all did not do anything to David when David did what he did. Now, when you read Ecclesiasticus, especially, it talks about how Yah is merciful. It ain't saying because he have not done anything. It is saying because, don't say because Yah have done anything, you've gotten away with it. Don't say that. He's just being merciful. Because in the moment, but he's giving you an opportunity to change your mind, to repent, to apologize and fix what you've done. He will help you. But see, David he didn't fix it. He inquired after the woman when they saw her down there naked taking a bath, and she probably set him up, let them see her breast, how big her booty was, whatever it was that got his attention. She probably was in cahoots with it because she deserved the same penalty that he did. They both deserved death for committing adultery. But guess what? Neither one of them died. And she sent messages to told David after he had gotten with her, because she came and let him knock her down. He sent for her, she came, and she came in unto him, and he lay with her. Excuse me. But she was purified from her uncleanness, whether she was on her cycle, whether she had a child, or whatever, she was purified from it, and she returned to her house. Or she became unclean because he knocked her down. Regardless to whatever it was, she conceived and got pregnant. And guess what? Instead of him saying, y'all, I done messed up, I done wrong, this woman got pregnant, please forgive me. He didn't repent like many of us when you do wrong. You've been living for a while, you done fornicated, you done stole something, you done went back to something that you shouldn't have went back to. But instead of you saying, y'all forgive me, you continue on in your mess, and it'd be hard for you to pray. You ain't praying. Yeah, come on, y'all. We've been there where you done wrong, but you don't want to pray. No, you should pray, but you ain't trying to pray. And your pride has gotten in the way. And you got an attitude toward Yah for your own disobedience. That's how he was. He knew he was wrong. He knew he was wrong for him. If he didn't know he was wrong, he wouldn't have told the man to send Uriah back so Uriah could do something with the woman that said she was pregnant by Uriah. They didn't have no ultrasounds in that day, no DNA tests to say it ain't mine. And we don't know how Solomon looked. He might have looked just like, and not Solomon, the other boy might have came up looking just like David. I mean, Solomon was Bathsheba's son too. Solomon might have looked just like David. We don't know. No, I know that they ain't other, but my point is, we don't know how the baby would have looked when he was born, is my point. They ain't had no ultrasound. You couldn't tell when she got pregnant. She's 7 weeks, 8 weeks. She could have lied and said, he came early. But instead of David trying to fix the situation, what he did was send for Uriah. And he still had an opportunity to repent, but he didn't. So he goes down there and let Uriah get killed in battle. And that's when Yah spoke up. And when the morning was past, David sent and fetched after he married her. David sent and fetched her to his house, and she became his wife and bare him a son. But the thing that David had done displeased Yah. And the thing that was horrible was the thing that was horrible was what did he ask for it or what did he demand? It don't even matter if he asked for it or he demanded. But the matter is he sinned against Yah. Because he knew he was wrong from the beginning, being a king, and the king knows that thou shalt not commit adultery. After all, every king of Yasharal has to describe the Torah. Every king of Israel. He knew it was wrong, and he knew he was committing murder by having Joab put Uriah on the front line. Because he knew Uriah couldn't fight. And when he called Uriah back to him, talked to him about it, he demanded him what was going on at the war, trying to mass things up. Then came to the meeting, got him drunk, told him to go sleep with his wife. He was wrong in his actions. He was just completely wrong. And it displeased Yah. So Yah came to him and dealt with him. And when Yah sitting next to him, he tell him a story. David he gets self-righteous. He ought to be killed. You know, now you're upset. It's you. But look what Yah tell him. We'll take questions after, so we can answer them after the lesson. But Yah tell David what? For you did it secretly. But I will do this thing before all Israel and before the sun. You did what you did. You did what you did privately. And he tell him in 2 Samuel 2:10, he says, now therefore the sword shall never depart from your house, because you have despised me. And a lot of times that we think that we're doing wrong, you just hurting people. No, when you break Yah's word, especially when you have an understanding that you've done wrong according to Numbers 15 and 30, acting presumptuously, despising the word of Yah, your sin upon your head, and guess what? You despise me, and have taken the wife of Uriah the Hittite to be your wife. And then he said, what did he say? I'm gonna raise up. This is Yah's doing. What Absalom got going on. Thus says Yah, behold, I'll raise up evil against you out of your own house. And I will take your wives before your eyes and give them to your neighbor. And he shall lie with thy wives in thy sight. In the sight of this son, for you did it secretly, I'm gonna do it openly. So, you know, and my point, and so guess what, y'all? My point is when we think we're doing right, when we're doing wrong and think we're getting away with it, you ain't getting away with it. I ain't no getting away with it. Y'all see you. Your decision making that you make does not just affect you. Your decision making that you make does not just affect you. It can affect your life. It can affect your future. It can affect everybody around you. David's decision that he made affected his whole family. Because you're doing things secretly, because you're going behind the back and you think you're getting away with it, you are not getting away with it. So now, this is what goes on when he come back. He come and say, look, he rose up early in the morning, stood beside the gate. Absalom rose up early and stood beside the way of the gate. And it was so that when any man had come and had a controversy, came to the king for judgment, Absalom comes, hey, come on, let me. Where you from? Then he started talking to him. He said, well, you know, because there is no man deputy of the king. He don't have nobody here to hear you. Talk to me about it. He said, if I was made judge, every man which have any suit of cause, may come to me and I'll do him justice. And all the while that Absalom, then he loving on folks, being kind to him, soft to him. And it was so that when any man came nigh to him to do him obeisance, he put forth his hand, took him and kissed him. Come on, man. Oh, you all right? Loved on him. And this made everybody love him. And the whole time that while you block that fool, William Graves, whoever you are here, foolishness. Read the Bible for yourself and you'll learn something. Instead of when he's trying to debate against us, find y'all for yourself, fool. So all the while, somebody on YouTube talking crazy. I had to correct them real quick. All the while, he being counted him, he deceiving his dad too. And it came to pass after 40 years that Absalom said to his king, to the king, said, Absalom, to the king, I pray to let me go and pay my vow. What did he use to deceive the king by? He used the word of Yah to deceive the king by. The Torah. He used about the paying the vow. And his daddy believed him. Because he used Yah's word. Remember, this is the word of Yah. Y'all know it, don't you? Numbers. What, 33? 32? What chapter was it? We gotta find it now. Let's find the vows. Okay, the vow, Numbers 30. That we know that it says about vow and the vow. If a man vow to Yahuah, swear an oath to bind his soul with a bond, he shall not break his word. He shall do according to all the proceedings of his mouth. And so now Absalom goes to his dad and tells his dad that, hey, I need to go pay my vow to Yah. And it came to pass after 40 years, Absalom said to the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow, which I have vowed unto Yahuah Hebron. For your servant vowed a vow while I abode in Gershon, in Syria, saying, if Yahuah shall bring me again to Jerusalem, then I will serve Yah. And his daddy fell for it. King said, go in peace. But when he went, he had a conspiracy. He went to try to take over. Now, of course, we see the situation that we see the situation that what's going on. Absalom trying to become king, and he still got a problem. See, he never got rid of his problem. He never got rid of his problem. His problem is what David didn't do anything when Amnon raped his sister, Tamar. And all David did was get angry. We had a discussion last week about him maybe having to be forced to marry her, or was he to be cut off for shaming her, uncovering her nakedness? She was a virgin. But guess what? Regardless of whatever happened, regardless of the punishment that he was supposed to have taken, or the punishment he was supposed to have gotten, guess what? Nothing was done. All it says was that David was mad. All it says is that after Amnon had did what he did and raped her, and she goes to Absalom, and Absalom tell her what has happened, and then and how hurt they are. Let's look and see what happened. She put Absalom in his front of Absalom's house, and what did it say? But when King David heard of all these things, he was very wroth. So now that's all you did. Absalom never got over it. And he probably felt emboldened when he killed Amnon. And they had stayed gone for them little small amount of years. And then when he come back, nothing was done to him. David didn't speak to him, and he didn't speak to David. Nobody talked to nobody. Well, none said. I don't think. Let's go read it. Only thing that Joseph did, that David did was tell Joab to go get him. And the king said to Joab, "Behold, now I have done this thing. Go therefore, bring the young man Absalom home again." And Joab fell to the ground on his face and bowed himself and thanked the king. And Joab said, "Today thy servant knoweth that I have found grace in thy sight, my lord, O king, and that the king had fulfilled the request of his servant." So Joab arose and went to Gersha and brought Absalom to Jerusalem. And the king said, "Let him turn to his own house, and let him not see my face." So Absalom returned to his own house and saw not the king's face. But in all Israel, there was none to be so much praised as Absalom for his beauty. From the sole of his foot even to the crown of his head, there was no blemish in him. For who? In all Israel. And he cut his hair off yearly. But we don't see nothing, none where the kings, none where the kings did anything to him. And verse 2 Kings 40:28 it says right here, it says, "So Absalom dwelt 2 full years in Jerusalem and saw not the king's face." None was done to him. Nothing was said to him. It was not until Absalom burned Joab's field and then Joab come to him and ask him, "Why you burn my field?" These cousins, Joab and Absalom, first cousins. Joab, Abishai, Asahel is David's sister's boys. It's some real beef going on. But Joab also the captain of the host to David, who's the king, who's his uncle. And Absalom answered Joab, "Behold, I sent unto thee, saying, Come here, that I may send to the king to say, Wherefore am I come from Gersha? It have been good for me to have been there still. Now therefore let me see the king's face, and if there be any iniquity in me, let him kill me." So Joab came to the king and told him, and when he had called for Absalom, he came to the king and bowed himself on his face to the ground before the king, and the king kissed Absalom. That's all he did. And the matter wasn't addressed like it should have been. Nothing was talked about. So now years later, Absalom don't have no respect for his dad. See his dad is not being real, see his dad not being weak, and he want to be the king, but it's also a word that's coming to pass from Yah based on David's own sin. This is teach every last one of us a lesson that because you do things like Moses told them, like Moses had told them, and told Reuben and Gad and Hashab and Manasseh about them helping their brother, your sin gonna find you out. And believe me, family, when I tell you this, us secretly doing wrong, your sins find you out. You can't get away with it but for so long. And if you've been doing things that you know that are not right and are wrong, you still had an opportunity to repent, since y'all haven't judged you yet. Because after a while, your sin's gonna find you out. It then comes to hammer. And when you start seeing things going on in your life that's bad, it don't matter how many years ago that you've done it, when you start seeing it without a remorseful heart, guess what? Or when you start seeing it, even if you did cry, then we saw that today. in Deuteronomy chapter 1, when Moses was reminding them of how they didn't believe Yah and wouldn't go to the promised land. And how even after he told them that they can't go and they decided to go fight, they got ran back down the hill like bees on them. So you just don't get away with it like you think you do. But you better remember, Yah is merciful and don't get beside yourself and think because nothing has happened yet, he's forgotten about it because that wrath can come suddenly. And so now David has to experience his own wrongdoing. Hence the word, reap what you sow. Be not deceived, for Elohim is not mocked. For whatsoever a man soweth, that shall he also reap. And he came to him with a lie from Yah's word about vowing a vow, and said something that David remembered that he did to make him think about it. If you bring me back from Gersha, when it was Joab that went and got him, it wasn't him that came on his own initiative, and he was trying to figure out why he did in the first place. And nobody wouldn't talk to him 2 full years before David saw him. Though I guess we ain't paying attention, so he used something that sounded familiar to David to make him trust what he said. But the whole time in his heart, he had conspiracies to take over the kingdom. Now, one thing about it is this right here. Y'all never told David he was going to lose the kingdom, so he can't lose the kingdom. But that sword brings division. He never told him he wasn't going to have no pain from his own house. He already experienced it one time, losing one son. And then he got to experience again, another son going against him. Sometimes you got children like that go against their parents. Sometimes it's because of somebody saw the parent being wrong, and sometimes just out of rebellion. But sometimes as the leaders, as the parents, we be the trouble for our own house. We be the ones that's causing the trouble. Whole time we know we live secretly in sin, but acting out innocent as if we haven't done a thing. And it came to pass after 40 years that Absalom said to the king, I pray thee, let me go and pay my vow to have vowed unto Yah Hebron. For thy servant, oh, you gotta mute your mics. For thy servant vowed a vow while I abode in Gersha in Syria, saying, if Yahuah shall bring me again into Jerusalem, then I will serve Yah. Did Yah bring him back? And the king said to him, go in peace. So he arose and went to Hebron. But when he went to Hebron, what did he do? Now, what's significant about Hebron? That's what David started his reign. That's when David first came up to start his reign, and Absalom went to the same place that David went to start his reign. But Absalom, he went to Hebron, but Absalom sent spies, which probably make for whatever David started from, that where he gonna start from. You never know why what his motive was, but look at this. Absalom sent spies throughout all the tribes of Israel. As soon as you hear the sound of the trumpet, then you shall say, Absalom reigned in Hebron. He set it up, try to become the king and overthrow his dad, a coup. Like David tried to overthrow Absalom's house. And when Absalom went 200 men out of Jerusalem that were called, and they went in their simplicity and knew not anything. He got 2 men, and they went in their innocence. And these men were not rebelling against David. They went in their simplicity. They were innocent. They didn't know anything. And Absalom sent for Ahithophel the Gileonite, David's counselor. David's counselor. From his city, even from Giloah, while he offered sacrifices. And the conspiracy was strong, for the people increased continually Absalom. And there came a messenger to David saying, the hearts of the men of Israel are after Absalom. And David said unto all his servants that were with him at Jerusalem, arise and let us flee. We shall escape not else, we shall not else escape from Absalom. Make speed to depart, lest he overtake us suddenly and bring evil upon us. And I praise God for David's smart to get up and jump on and see what's going on, and smite the city with the edge of the sword. And the king's servant said to the king, behold, thy servants are ready to do whatsoever my lord the king shall appoint. And the king went forth and all his household after him, and the king left 10 women, which were concubines, to keep the house. That's not going to knock every last one of them down. And the king went forth, and all the people, yes, that's going to happen to him. And the king went forth, and all the people after him, and tarried in the place that was far off. And all his servants passed on beside him, and all the Cherethites, and all the Pelethites, and all the Gittites, 600 men, which came after him from Gath, passed on before the king. Then said the king to Ittai the Gittite, wherefore goest thou also with us? Return to thy place and abide with the king, for thou art a stranger and also an exile. Whereas thou camest but yesterday, should I this day make thee go up and down with us, seeing I go whither I may return thou, and take back thy brethren, mercy and truth be with thee. Go and go back, man. And Ittai answered the king and said, as the king, as Yahuah liveth, and as my lord the king liveth surely, in what place my lord the king shall be, whether in death or life, even there also will thy servant be. And the king said to Ittai, go and pass over. And Ittai the Gittite passed over, and all his men, and all the little ones that were with him, and all the country wept a loud voice, and all the people passed over. The king also himself passed over the brook Kidron, and all the people passed over toward the way of the wilderness. And lo, Zadok also, and all the Levites were with him, bearing the ark of the covenant of Elohim. And they set down the ark of Elohim, and Abiathar went up until all the people had done passing out of the city. And the king said unto Zadok, carry back the ark of Elohim into the city. If I shall find favor in the eyes of Yahuah, he will bring me again and show me both it and his habitation. But if he does say, I have no delight in thee, behold, here am I. Let him do as to do to me as seemed good to him. Now, one thing I can say, David kept his faith. The king said also unto Zadok, the priest, art not thou a seer? Return to the city in peace, and your 2 sons, you, Ahimaaz, thy son, and Jonathan, the son of Abiathar, say that, Abiathar. See, I will tarry in the plain of the wilderness until there come word from you to certify me. So Zadok, therefore, and Abiathar carried the ark of Elohim again to Jerusalem, and they tarried there. And David went up by the ascent to Mount Olive, and wept as he and woo. Y'all see that? The Mount of Olives. And then what the God against him was it? The Mount of Olives, same thing, ain't it? We'll revisit it. And David went up to the exit of Mount Olive and wept as he went up, and he had his head covered, and he went barefoot. And all the people that was with him covered every man his head. They said, man should have his head covered. And they went up weeping as they went. And one told David, saying, Ahithophel is among the conspirators for Absalom. And David said, O Yahuah, I pray thee, turn the counsel of Ahithophel into foolishness. And it came to pass that when David was come to the top of the mount where he worshiped Elohim, behold, who shall the Archite came to meet him with his coat rent and earth upon his head. And unto David, and unto whom David said, if thou passest on with me, then thou shalt be a burden unto me. But if thou return to the city and say to Absalom, I will be thy servant, O king, as I have been thy father's servant hitherto, so will I now also be thy servant. Then mayest thou for me defeat the counsel of Ahithophel. David slick, ain't it? And hast thou not there with thee Zadok and Abiathar the priest? Therefore it shall be that whatsoever thing thou shalt hear out of the king's house, thou shalt tell to Zadok and Abiathar the priest. Behold, they have there with them their two sons, Ahimaaz and Zadok's son, and Jonathan and Abiathar's son, and by whom them you shall send unto me everything that you can hear. So Hushai, David's friend, came into the city, and Absalom came to Jerusalem. You know, one thing that I can say that's good, it's like a movie, y'all. One thing that I can say that is good is that at least David still sought Yah in the process. He was witty, wise, you know, from a standpoint that when he heard about what he went on with Absalom and what Absalom was doing, he got up quick and got out the way so he can save his life. But one thing that he did do that was good is that he put Yah in the middle of it, and then put people in danger and set up camp. So when the Levites, one thing that you did not see happening to Absalom is the Levites didn't go with him. Now we were saying earlier for everyone to have an understanding that of Yah's prophets, Levites, priests, and prophets that David used. And the Ark of Yah. And when they went, this is one thing I want to bring out significantly, is that the king went forth and all his household after him, and the king left 10 women which were concubines to keep the house. Then this is Yah's word coming to pass in David's life because of his own disobedience. Because David did what he did secretly. Absalom is not doing anything in the secret. Absalom has set an all-out war to become the king and overthrow David. So Yah tells him in 2 Samuel 12 and 11, thus says Yahuah, behold, I will raise up evil against thee out of thine own house, and I will take thy wives before thine eyes and give them unto thy neighbor, and he shall lie with thy wives in the sight of this son. And for what you did it secretly, but I will do this thing before all Israel. Now understand this. Absalom trying to take over David's house, just like David tried to take over Uriah's house. And David did take over Uriah's house. He did it secretly. He lay with his wife and had her husband killed. He became her head, which she already had one. And he tried to cover it up by marrying her after Uriah was dead and she was pregnant. He tried to cover it up to show sympathy, and he was going to take care of her. And y'all weren't going to let that pass. They can't slide. And so what y'all does, I'm going to do it to you in the public in front of everybody. So when we see over here in 2 Samuel 15, when David let these 10 women stay, this is what's going to happen. This is why they stay. Not because David said, well, this is going to happen, because David left them. But we can see the word of Yah coming to pass in hindsight based on what he told David in the rebuke. And he goes forward. And he asked Yah, instead of him getting in the flesh, one thing that I can see Yah's mercy being done to David as well is that because when Saul wanted to kill David, David didn't put his hands on Saul. David didn't fear Saul. David was not scared of Saul. He could have had Saul killed on 2 occasions. But David realized that Saul was Yah's anointed and he had no place going against Saul. The thing that got Absalom blind is David is still Yah's anointed, regardless of how Absalom feels about his father. And that's the thing I want to bring back to the point we were talking about earlier about even though some of the parents, some of the kids may rebel against the parent or leadership or do crazy, or you might have trouble in your life, the fact of the matter is your parents still your parent, and regardless of their wrongdoing, you have no right in the eyes of Yah to dishonor them because Yah don't go against his word for nobody. And Yah is sovereign, so it's Absalom who he's allowed to do what he's doing based on Absalom's heart, but David's still the king. And you never ever hear Yah telling David, I'm gonna kill you, or I'm done with you, or I'm getting rid of you, like he did King Saul. When he told Saul in 1 Samuel 14 and 15. In 1 Samuel 14, he said, your kingdom ain't gonna last. Yeah, I got somebody gonna raise up. 1 Samuel 15 said he taking the kingdom from you that day because of Saul broke the Torah. But David never stopped being a man after Yah's own heart. Now, we got to understand something. Because Yah punishes you and disciplines you for being his child, don't mean he changed his mind about you because you're wrongdoing. Yah will always chasten his children for their wrongdoing. Don't mean his mind has changed. David's heart never stopped being whole toward Yah, except for that one incident. That's in 1 Kings. It says that one of his descendants' hearts was not like his David, not like his grandfather or his father David. Only thing that Yah seen wrong that made David mess up is what he did right here to Uriah. But everything else, he was perfect in his house. So we don't get beside ourselves because we don't see because we see somebody doing wrong or they don't address a problem and we want to go against them. No, I think what you should do, till you lie and conspire against them to fall, you should learn how to pray. Because 2 things I can see that gave David good, that made David good, and one about Absalom is where he did do wrong, and Yah corrected him, he repented, and even while he's running for his life, he's still praying. And not trying to endanger anybody, but just let me know what's happening. You go over there and you listen, and he sends a dope back and told the kid, you a priest, take the ark back, but you're also a prophet. So when it's time to come back, Yah gonna use you to come tell me what's going on. And then his other servant back said, now you go over there and you listen to what's going on and let me know, because you'll be a burden over here. But go over there and understand, and whatever you hear, go tell the priest. Go tell the Levites. The Levites got the Urim and Thummim. The Levites seek Yah. They pray to Yah. They're the ones who teach the Torah, and they're the ones who Yah gonna speak through to get this man back to where he got to go to. So regardless to what you're dealing with, even your wrongdoing, you should always learn how to keep that connection with Yah open. And don't get out of place because you're going through something. Learn how to think, what you call it, strategically. That's what David did. But y'all know what we do, though. We get to want to quit, want to stop. Oh, I can't understand. Oh, Lord. You know how we get. Then when he told Zadok, he said, the king said unto the Zadok, the priest, art thou a seer? A seer is a prophet. In those days, before they was called prophets, they was called seers. We read that in what was it, 1 Samuel? So it's one who sees what Yah is saying and go tell somebody. Return to the city in Shalom and your 2 sons with you. And then what he told him? Return to the city in peace, and your 2 sons. Go. See, I will tarry in the plant of the wilderness until there come word from you to certify me. To announce to me, to let me know what's going on. Why? Because it's still going to speak what Yah say. So even in David's own running and his life, and they're coming against him, he's still trying to gain understanding from Yah. Ain't that's I think that's good. Praise Yah. Let's go to one more chapter. And when David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba, the servant of Mishpacha. You remember Ziba? He made him serve Mishpacha, him and his sons. Mephibosheth. When they brought Jonathan, Mephibosheth is Jonathan's son, Saul's grandson. And when David was a little past the top of the hill, behold, Ziba, the servant of Mephibosheth, met him with a couple of asses saddled, and upon them 200 loaves of bread, and 100 bunches of raisins, and 100 of summer fruits, and a bottle of wine. And the king said unto Ziba, what mean is there by these? And the Ziba said, the asses be for the king's household to ride on, and the bread and summer fruit for the young men to eat, and the wine for that such as be faint, and in the wilderness may drink. And the king said, where is thy master's son? And Ziba said unto the king, behold, he abideth at Jerusalem. For he said, today shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. So Ziba tell you what Mephibosheth said. Mephibosheth got beside himself. Think he's going to become the king. He tripping. Then said the king to Ziba, behold, thine and all that are pertain unto Mephibosheth. And Ziba said, I humbly beseech thee that I may find grace in thy sight, O Lord, O King. And so Ziba stayed faithful. And told and Mephibosheth going to go into Jerusalem thinking he's going to get the kingdom back. You know, that's significant 2 ways here, because even though when some folks start seeing you going through, even for the things you've done wrong in your life, they want you to fall right then. Mephibosheth had already had David counted out. Already had him at a loss. But I praise y'all for a man like Ziba, who didn't have that kind of mindset, who instead came to aid the king by bringing them food and 2 asses for the king's household to ride on. He was thinking of everybody. Yeah, that's true love. And for him to have no secret when David asked him, where was Mephibosheth? Where's your master's son? And Ziba said unto the king, he abide here in Jerusalem. He said, today shall the house of Israel restore me the kingdom of my father. What in the world is wrong with this man's mind? But that's how a lot of us, so Mephibosheth was crooked from the get-go. But that's how a lot of us do, though. We see somebody going down, we think it's a come-up move. Or we see them going through and expect for them to fall. And when King David came to Bahurim, behold, this came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei. Now we know what happened to him, but guess what? Now everybody now all of a sudden trying to come back and get David because they see him going through, see Absalom trying to overthrow him, and now you just lose. What about the prayers? You can see the flesh already in the way. What about the prayers? What about the encouragement? What about the love you're supposed to have for somebody, especially your leader, when you start seeing them going through? And when King David came to Bahurim, behold, this came out a man of the family of the house of Saul, whose name was Shimei, the son of Gerah. He came forth and cursed, still as he came. Well, he was cursed as he came, and he cast stones at David, throwing stones at him. And at all the servants of King David, and all the people and all the mighty men were on his right hand and on his left. And thus, and said Shema when he cursed, come out, thou bloody man, and thou man of Belial. Yahuah have returned upon thee all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. False accusations. And Yahuah has delivered the kingdom into the hand of Absalom thy son, and behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because thou art a bloody man. Then said Abishai, the son of Zeruiah, unto the king, why should his dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go, I pray thee, and take off his head. And David said, what have I to do with you, you sons of Zeruiah? So let him curse, because of Yahuah have said unto him. Let him curse, because Yahuah have said unto him, curse David. Who shall then say, wherefore hast thou done so? Let him curse. Let him do what he's doing. You know why he said what he said that? Because y'all approve it. Y'all judge the matter. If he's right and you kill him, you wrong. But if he wrong, y'all deal with him. My man responded like Peter did, though. You want to cut the man ear off. Cut the man head off, his ear come off. But he just thinking out for the king, though. But praise y'all for David's wisdom. And David said to Abishai, and David said, and David said to Abishai, and to all his servants, behold, my son which come forth out of my bowels seeketh my life. How much more now may this Benjamin do it? Let him alone and let him curse. For Yahuah have been him. It may be that Yahuah will look on mine affliction, and that Yahuah will requite me good for his cursing this day. Always speaking patience, with patience and wisdom, huh? And as David and his men went by the way, Shimei went along on the hillside over against him and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him and cast dust. And David and the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. And Absalom and all the people, the men of Israel, came to Jerusalem, and Ahithophel with him. And Ahithophel with him, and it came to pass when Hushai the Archite, David's friend, was come unto Absalom, that Hushai said unto Absalom, God save the king. God save the king. David smooth, slick, and find out what's happening. And Absalom said to Hushai, is this thy kindness to thy friend? Why wentest thou not with thy friend? And Hushai said unto Absalom, nay, but whom Yahuah and this people and all the men of Israel chose, his will I be, and with him will I abide. And again, whom should I serve? Should not I serve in the presence of his son, as I have served in thy father's presence? So will I be in thy presence. Then Absalom said to Ahithophel, give counsel among you, what shall we do? What shall do? And Ahithophel said unto Absalom, go into thy father's concubines, which he have left to keep the house. And all Israel shall hear that thou art abhorred of thy father. Then shall the hands of all that were with thee be strong. So so that word came to pass, huh? He gonna sleep, your neighbor gonna sleep with him before the sun. So they spread Absalom a tent upon the top of the house. Absalom went in unto his father's concubines in the sight of all Israel. And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, were as if a man had inquired at the oracles of Elohim. So was the counsel of Ahithophel both with David and with Absalom. Thinking he gave him wise counsel. You know, it's sad because this man actually going against his father. I want to bring that out because you got children these days still do that. Still will go against their parents like it's all good. One thing that Yah does not ever do is break his word. The Torah is true. One of the 10 words is what? Honor your father and your mother, that your days may be long upon the land which Yahuah your mighty one giveth thee. Even in David's disobedience, Yah disciplined him. And Absalom's own rebellion, he caused his own life to become short. By dishonoring his father, trying to start a coup with him. I think y'all young people need to take heed to that. Then regardless of what you think about your mom and your daddy. Everybody whose mom and dad still living. Don't watch the mom and dad that raised you now. You might have a dad that you don't know that was never in your life. And I ain't saying dishonor them neither. But you don't have the same understanding as the one that raised you. But the ones that most definitely, and you still honor because they're older men and older women. But the ones that raised you in your life and the ones that taught you, when you go against them, what gives you that right? What did Mashiach say to the ones that stopped under their father in the Torah? Somebody find that for me. And I mean, in the good news. But the Pharisees by not honoring their father and their mother. Let's find it.
It's in Mark.
Mark what?
1 second.
Mark 1?
Was it Mark 7?
Mark 7. Let's find this.
7, probably 9 through 12 or so.
Let's look at it.
Yep. Mark 7, 10 through.
I got it.
Okay.
So Mashiach says, and he said unto them, for full well you reject the commandment of Yah, that you may keep your own tradition. What's tradition? Something you make up in your own mind. Something that's not the word of Yah. Something that Yah didn't say do. Something you chose to do on your own initiative. And we will put a tradition above Yah's word every time. Many of us will and believe it above Yah's word. For Moses said, when he say Moses, he means the Torah, honor your father and your mother. And whosoever curseth, well, how many verses? Okay. Honor your father and your mother. And whoso curseth father or mother, let him die to death. But you say, if a man shall say to his father or mother, it is korban. What is korban? It is a gift, a what? An offering. You honor them in deed and actions and word. That is to say, a gift. By whatsoever thou mightest be profited by me, he shall be free. And you suffer him no more to do aught to his father, for his father or mother. making the word of Elohim of none effect through your traditions, which you have delivered, and many such like things you do. Tradition, honor that Father, you know what? It makes Yah's word of none effect. It's bad for you. When Yah's word becomes none effect in your life, when you want to use an excuse not to honor your father and your mother. Ecclesiasticus 3, beginning at verse 1. Sirach, well, Ecclesiasticus 3, beginning at verse 1 says this: Hear me, your father, O children, and do thereafter that you may be safe. For Yahuah giveth the father honor over the children, and have confirmed the authority of the mother over the sons. Whoso honors his father makes an atonement for his sins, and he that honors his mother is as one that lays up treasure. Whoso honors his father shall have joy of his own children, and when he makes his prayer, he shall be heard. He that honors his father shall have a long life, and he that is obedient to Yahuah shall be a comfort to his mother. He that fears Yahuah will honor his father and will do service unto his parents as unto his Adonim. Honor your father and mother, both in word and deed, that a blessing may come upon you from them. For the blessing of the father establishes the house of children, but the curse of the mother roots out foundations. Glory not in dishonor of your father, for your father's dishonor is no glory unto you. For the glory of a man is from the honor of his father, and a mother in dishonor is a reproach to her children. My son, help your father in his age, and grieve him not as long as he lives. And if his understanding fail, have patience with him, and despise him not when you are in your full strength. For the reliving of your father shall not be forgotten, and instead of sins, it shall be added to build you up. In the day of your affliction, it shall be remembered. Your sins also shall melt away as the ice in their warm weather. He that forsakes his father is a blasphemer, and he that angers his mother is cursed of Elohim. My son, go on with your business in meekness. So shall you be loved of him that is approved. The greater you are, the more humble yourself, and you shall find favor before Yah. And what breaks my heart is these children that talk about their moms and dads, put them down, say things. Let me say this right here too. Not knocking, but I gotta say it. Even fighting in front of your parents, giving them a hard time, making things difficult for them, it's bad. Y'all don't play about that. If you still got life in your body, you have the opportunity now to get it right. Even my own children. You got the opportunity to fix it, to get it right, because Yah's word is true. You can't let somebody deceive you and say, well, that ain't, that's extended scriptures. That's the word of Yah. What is the Apocrypha or not? It's the word of Yah. You know, Absalom's life would be cut short because of his wrongdoing, regardless of how he felt about his daddy. And regardless to what his daddy done did. And let me say this, because I got personal experience on this, so I can talk about it. Even when you got somebody going to you, or a child going to other folks, talk about their parents, and you sit there, you're going to listen to them talk about the parents, but you don't fix it. One thing I say about Ziba that I respect is that when David went and Ziba come to him, Ziba was a servant of David before he became a Mephibosheth's servant. And it was David that put him in place and made him who he was. And David had respect, and Ziba was a good man. It didn't bother him. He was willing to do whatever the king had said because he understood what was. And so when Mephibosheth got beside himself and said what he said against David, and because he thought David was going to lose. He had a problem as well, and said that Mephibosheth had said that Yah's going to give him back the kingdom. One thing I can praise Yah about is that Ziba didn't hide that. But he told him exactly what was said about him. But what we'll do is, when it comes to things, is we'll let other folks, not just parents, but you will let somebody come to you and say something wicked to you, and you will shut your mouth and say, I ain't going to get involved in that. It ain't none of my business. Well, if that's the case, when they begin to first start saying what they said, you should have rebuked them. But yet and still, you heard what they said and didn't even say nothing about it. Kept going on with your life, looking and trying to see what the downfall was going to be. You were just as guilty as the individual that came to you and spread that discord. Talebearing, being a whisperer, going around saying things and thinking you all right. Saying things, thinking you're giving wise counsel, but you got a whole other party over here that's quiet about what was said. The thing about it is, David didn't have to go to Ziba. Ziba met David. And he didn't want to see him fall, regardless to what Mephibosheth said. So what did he do with it? He came and brought him bread upon some asses. Some of the fruit for people to eat, and some wine for people to drink so they wouldn't be faint while they was on their journey. And asked to find grace in the king's sight. And he found grace in the king's sight by doing the right thing. All the time we always say we love Yah, but it seems like we only love Yah in word only. I love Yah until I get mad at you. Then I talk about you. Or I go tell somebody how me and you don't get along and how we don't like each other, how I don't like you, and I tell them how fake you are or how not real you are, or how I would choose not to be around you, or I'll make some kind of excuse to be mad at you or to be angry at you because of my own fault or my own sin. And then the person that'll hear you say that won't say nothing. But all of us love Yah. My question is then, who has taken that time since they love Yah to get into the word of Yah, so when these things arise like that, we can know what to do? Instead of us just doing like that. Then you got Shemay. People like him still holding on to grudges, falsely accusing somebody, and because you seeing them going through something, you think y'all getting them back. Telling David, came out the house, y'all, throwing rocks at David. Casting stones at David and all the servants of King David, throwing at David, and also throwing stones at folks who have nothing to do with the matter. You against everybody. And then you don't even understand what's going on, so you're accusing him of being wrong by saying y'all trying to avenge you for being a bloody man for what you did to Saul. You ain't like him anyway. Because how did Saul die? Saul died in battle against the Philistines when he fell on his own sword. And everybody knew how David felt about Saul, because when the young man came to David and told David the lie, David had him killed and said, how is it that you would fall upon y'all doing it? Had him killed. Then made a song and made people learn about Jonathan and David. Honored them so highly, honored them. Wouldn't lay his hand on Saul. So Shimei come out there acting crazy and was completely wrong. And guess what he did, y'all? Use Yah's name. Trying to tell them that, look here, Y'all done return upon you the blood of all the house of Saul, in whose stead thou hast reigned. Show me how David get with the blood of the house of Saul, even when Ishbosheth was laying on the bed sleeping in some parlor. And the two men came to him and stabbed the man while his man laying down trying to relax by a lie in the secret. David had their hands and feet cut off and had them hung up. And told him, look here, y'all should learn that lesson. I had another man come to me and told me he did to Saul. Why you think I wouldn't do nothing to you? And then at the same time, why he was establishing this kingdom, doing good and eating good, being a king, he said, who is it of the house of Saul I can show kindness to? And somebody tell him about Mephibosheth that was lame from 5 years old running when his nurses ran when Saul them got overtaken. He was down there in Lodabar. And David sent to him and brought him and made Ziba and all this house serve this man. And you gonna sit here and tell me that y'all coming to get me about something I ain't done in the first place, all because you see me going through something. We learn how to watch our mouth when we see folks going through trials. Learn how to encourage them instead of blaming them for sinning, because they might be going through trials or trial of their faith. And y'all might be getting ready to bless them, even if they got to go through something. And then even if they're going through something because of their own disobedience, does not mean that Yah has rejected them. But Yah chastises everyone who he receives his sons. So don't be weary. Don't despise the chastisement of Yah. And don't be weary when you are rebuked by him. But see, there I go again. We be on the outside looking in. Because we don't understand what's going on. Stressing and rubbing our temple. A storm always looks worse through a window. It ain't until you go outside and get in there when you realize it ain't as bad as you think. But when you're on the outside looking in, though, you realize that you think it's bad for them. See the branch fall, think the wind blowing hard. The branch is just old and finna fall anyway. Gonna tell the man, y'all have returned upon you all the blood of the house of Saul, in whose stead. What? You ready in Saul's place? No. Saul lost the kingdom. Yah took it from him. You're right. In whose stead you will reign, and Yah had delivered the kingdom of Saul into the hand of Absalom. And behold, thou art taken in thy mischief, because you are the bloody man. Saying Yah said, putting Yah's name on it. That word better come to pass, because you use Yah's name. You false prophesied. You acted presumptuous, saying things that you have no idea what's being said, and the word better come to pass, or y'all gonna deal with you. We know Shimei's reign outcome. We said in 1 Kings. Then it said Abishai, him and Joab. But they ready to fight. Abishai is the same one who wants to stay Saul through. Yes, they know. Abishai and Joab and Ahaziel are brothers. Abishai and Joab killed Abner secretly because they couldn't let go of their grudge when he killed Ahaziel when he was running behind him and he hit him in the fifth rib and he dropped. And Joab and they couldn't live with that. Abishai is David's nephew, Joab's brother. And they hot-headed too, boy. They ready to go there and do something. They ready to fight. And that's how many we got some folks like that, or some Peters. Ready to cut the head off. Ain't nothing wrong with that. But David rebuked it because, man, y'all, that's what you always looking for. That's why they rebuked it. What have I had to do with you? And David said to the son of Zeruiah, unto the king, why should this dead, excuse me, then said Abishai, the son of the Zeruiah, unto the king, why should this dead dog curse my lord the king? Let me go over, I pray, and take off his head. And the king said, what have I to do with you, sons of Zeruiah, his sister, my nephews? What have I to do to y'all? So let him curse, because y'all have said unto him, curse David. Because he said y'all said that. Y'all said curse David. And you got to believe it till it don't come to pass. Then you ain't got to fear it no more, according to Deuteronomy 18. You ain't got to fear it if it don't happen. I'll read it to y'all. We'll come back over here. Deuteronomy 18:20 says, but the prophet which shall presume to speak a word in my name, which I have not commanded him to speak, or that shall speak in the name of other gods, even their prophet shall die. And if thou shalt say in thine heart, how shall we know the word which Yahuah has not spoken? When the prophets speak of in the name of Yah, if the thing follow not, nor come to pass, that is the thing which Yahuah have not spoken. But the prophet have spoken it presumptuously. Thou shalt not be afraid of him, arrogantly, proudly, what Shimei just did to David, who was not a prophet, but putting y'all's name on something. You better be careful what you're saying in y'all's name. Because goodness, I said goodness gracious. It's going to come and holler at you. He said, Yah said it. So David said, he said, Yah said that. And David said to Abishai and to all his servants, behold, my son, which came forth out of my bowels, seek my life. How much more may this Benjamite do it? Leave him alone, let him alone, and let him curse, for Yahuah have bidden him. That better come to pass, or he's in trouble. And Absalom better become king. Because see, there were folks started doing prophesying and saying y'all say stuff, and man, brother, skipping the whoop, because the one who you get all the favor can sing good. It described Absalom, how he looked good from his head to his feet. So the boy, so the boy was pretty. So the boy was so pretty golden and pretty color brown that look here, that when the sun shine on the boy and the boy be sweating, say his skin look like a Hershey bar. So the boy just look good out there. So Absalom, look here, hair be heavy and thick. He got to cut his hair off every year. How heavy the hair be. And he had favor for everybody. Everybody like it. And see, that's how they call it sweet chocolate brown. Or like people say, pretty boy Floyd. I don't know if he light skin or dark skin. I'm just you know how pretty he was. You think he was light skinned. It may be the boys. Get back to it. It may be that Yahuah would look on my affliction, and that Yah will requite me good for his cursing this day. Man, David's thinking, woo! David had wisdom. Let Yah judge the matter, because everybody's using Yah's word. And as David and his men went by the way, Shemaiah went on the hills, on the hillside over against him and cursed as he went, and threw stones at him and cast dust. Man, they tripping. And the king and all the people that were weary. Excuse me. And the king and all the people that were with him came weary and refreshed themselves there. Now, you know, Absalom go into Jerusalem, and what David had set in place for Hushai happened. He talked to Hushai. You know, what's going on? He said, sleep with the king's, you know, wife. Excuse me. Excuse me. Hushai come talk to him. Hushai, he said, you didn't go with my dad? And I thought he was your friend. No, I'm with you. I'm being your presence. But Ahithophel boy told what was David's prayer? Let his counsel become foolish. His name means that. But what was foolish? The counsel that he gave him. Was not it foolish for David to do what he did? And so y'all raised up a foolish man to give another foolish man foolish counsel, to show David how foolish it was what he did. And this foolish man that wanted to be king did something foolish for y'all to show David of how foolish it was. But David did his foolishness in secret. Y'all gonna show all Israel how foolish Absalom is. By taking the counsel of Ahithophel, which is foolish. You know why? Because it was never Yah's will for Absalom to be king over Israel and overthrow David. Like it was never Yah's will for David to do what he did to Uriah. You know, Paul said it good like this, that Yah can take the foolish things of the world to confound the wise. Yah's foolishness is wiser than men's wisdom. And Yah can show you through life how dumb your decisions was by letting other folk do something worse than you, and you can see it even in your own family because your own disobedience where you know better than doing what you're doing. There's a difference between being ignorant and doing it on purpose, a dummy.
That's a choice.
And so Ahithophel get this man some foolish counsel.
Oh, true.
Go into your father's concubines, which ye have left to keep the house. And all Israel shall hear that you are abhorred of your father. Then shall the hands of all that are with you be strong. Did that work? Did they become strong? No. But we'll find out next week. So they spread a tent upon the top of the house. Absalom went into a tent on the top of the house, and Absalom went into and did the same thing David did, but he did it in the sight of all Israel. On the roof above everybody, in a tent, and let everybody see this man take this man's concubines. Now, not his wives, his concubines. In front of everybody. On the roof. And the thing that's so amazing is that I guess they didn't have the ruach or good discernment. The people. Nor did Absalom. Nor did Ahithophel. But check this out. And the counsel of Ahithophel, which he counseled in those days, was as if a man had inquired the oracle at the oracle of Elohim. So was the counsel for Ahithophel, both of David and Absalom, foolish counsel. But it was like Yah told him what he told him. They hear regard and listen. And the man here, but when David prayed, let his spirit turn to folly, Absalom thought it was from Yah, was from the flesh. Praise Yah. Hallelujah. Almighty, we thank you for your compassion and your mercy. and your loving kindness. Thank you for being so good to us, Yah, bringing out the word of Yah, giving us wisdom and understanding, allowing us to be able to see the foolishness, Yah, that what we do, though it does not just affect us, but it affects those who are around us. Our life is not just about us. So I pray Yah give us wisdom. Please forgive us for the things we've done wrong, Yah, and the mishap and the misfortune that we've caused on our family. Please forgive us for going against our family, going against our elders, our parents, our leaders, doing foolish things, Yah, thinking we're right and never at any time seeking your counsel, your guidance, or even repenting of the wrongdoing. Please have mercy upon us and help us to quit having those worthless ways of thinking and think better, do better, seek your face above all things. Yah, we love you. We ask for forgiveness. We ask for mercy. And we thank you, Yah, for your grace and compassion toward us. Thank you for your word. Thank you for wisdom and understanding. Thank you, Almighty, for being our strength. We magnify you and praise you in Yahushua HaMashiach's name. Hallelujah. Praise Yah. Shalom, shalom, everyone. Praise Yah.